Daffodils here with another art lesson. Today we're going to learn to draw daffodils because they are everywhere around us right now, and they're a good way for us to learn to create movement and rhythm in our artwork. First, I want to show you some art that has movement and rhythm in it so you can understand kind of what we're looking for. In the picture on the left, the artist Hokusai shows us movement in a couple different ways. He's showing us by the tree bending and blowing in the wind and the people kind of struggling to walk in the wind, that it's a windy day. And so there's movement in the picture in that way. And then the winding path and the way that the grass is shown next to the water is leading our eye in a certain way. So there's two different types of movement going on in the Hokusai picture on the left. The picture on the right has to do with rhythm. In the picture on the right, the artist has used some of our elements of art, line, color, shape, to create rhythm. Rhythm is created when things alternate, or when there is a pattern, or when there is repetition, just like in music, when there is repetition of a beat. So the picture on the right would have more rhythm in it. I think the artist also tried to create some movement with this picture on the right because of that big sweeping curved shape that's in there. This is a photograph of a forest, and there's definitely movement and rhythm in this picture. The trees are slightly curved, and there's a lot of angles going on. It's all the same thing. It's all trees and branches and tree trunks. And the trees are darker up in the foreground, and they get lighter and blurrier as they disappear into the background, into the distance. This picture reminds me of dancing people. There's definitely movement in this picture, and I think it's all the curved flowing lines that help create that, and the repetition of shapes, similar shapes that are created by those colors. And if you take something like, let's just take the color red and look at where and how often the artist has spread out the use of red, and you can do the same thing with white. So shape, line, and color help create a sense of movement in this picture. This is an American sculptor named Martin Puryear. He is still alive and working today, and he makes really cool sculptures out of wood and sometimes metal. This is a ladder that he created he made it look like the ladder gets smaller and smaller and smaller as it goes up towards the top or towards the ceiling. And it really does get smaller and smaller as it goes up towards the top. And you can see that the ladder is wavy and curvy. His wood that he used is wavy and curvy. And it curves left to right, but it also curves front to back. So there's a lot of movement within this sculpture as well. Hopefully you all have seen lots of daffodils this spring, like I have. A lot of the times with the daffodil, the movement and the rhythm is created in the green parts. So definitely the yellow parts a little bit, because from different angles, they all look different. And especially sometimes the flower head makes the stem of the plant bend so much. But especially mainly if you look at the leaves, you can see lots of movement. So today our goal is to get our daffodils drawn on our paper and figure out a composition that we like that creates movement or rhythm. And I'm going to show you how to draw the daffodils and their leaves and their stems. And then next class we will focus on adding more color. You might have time today to add a little bit of color. Supplies you're going to need today are a piece of you need a 12 by 18 piece of white paper. You need a pencil, an eraser, and you may need some oil pastels today. We're not going to outline with Sharpie or black crayon today. So the main thing we're going to use to create movement in our pictures is curvy lines. So you can start by drawing 5 daffodil flower heads on the top part of your paper. So somewhere on the top half of your paper, draw 5 different daffodil flower heads. Daffodils have 6 petals, so you want to try to draw most of those 6 petals. The center of the daffodil has what's called a trumpet, and that's the center of the flower. And that has a wavy or ruffly or curvy edge. Like this is a trumpet of a flower, and you can see it from the side. So this daffodil would be, you'd be able to see the trumpet from the side. And now I'm going to draw my 6 different flower petals, and the center part of the flower is called the stamen. So you want to draw 2 or 3 little stamen in the center, if you can see those. Think about the placement of your daffodil flower, the flower part. If you want to have some overlapping other ones, that's fine. I drew mine each kind of in their own space. So think about where you want to put your flowers, and is there a place you can put your flowers in your picture to help emphasize that the movement or the rhythm that we've been talking about? Could you put one down low, one up high, the next one down low, the next one up high, the next one down low? I don't know. Could they make a circle or a spiral shape? So that's something that you need to work out in your composition. If you'd like to do a bunch of little sketches on the back of your piece of paper, you can, to kind of figure out, that's called a thumbnail sketch, to kind of figure out where you want to put the elements in your composition. And in this case, since we're using all flowers, it'd be easy to do a quick sketch, just figure out where you want to put everything. So all of my flowers, you're not going to be able to see all 6 of the petals, and that's okay too. So I'm thinking my flower, the way that I've arranged my flowers, looks a little bit like a spiral here. So with my last flower ending up in the center. As I finish up drawing my last flower, I'm gonna think about how I can continue to show movement in my picture. And I'm going to do that by drawing really curvy, wavy lines for my stems. I think it's easier if you draw all the stems from your flowers first, and then you can place the leaves in after you get them placed. Now, I'm not putting my flowers in a vase or a jar. I want it to look a little bit more organic, like they're growing out of the ground, and like they might be, it might be like a windy day, or maybe the wind has blown them sideways a little bit. Remember, when you're drawing your stems, it's not just one line, it's 2 lines, because you want it to look like it has form, like they're round. Now I'm going to draw the leaves that go with my daffodil, and I want some of them to be bending over. So I'm going to draw the underneath or the back side of the leaf in some cases, or just like the back side or the inside of that leaf in some cases. I actually drew my the leaves that go with my daffodils a little bit fatter than they are in real life. I'm not sure why I did that. I had in my mind they were like tulip leaves. So yours can be skinnier if you want, or you can draw them a little bit fatter and pointier like mine are. However you want to do it is fine. They can be daffodils from your imagination or daffodils from real life. Draw your first few. It's not hard to keep track of where the leaves are, but then it gets hard once you start drawing. Once you get like 2 or 3 of them drawn, then you're like, wait, is this going to be in front of this flower or behind that flower? So just keep track of which leaves are in front of which flowers in the foreground, which flower do you want in front, and then which flower do you want in the middle, and which flower and leaves you want in the background. And just like you did with your stems of your daffodils, you want to use curved lines, and you want to create some kind of movement or rhythm within your leaves. So maybe you want the 2 flowers in the front, you want those to have larger leaves, and then you have some flowers in the background that you want to have smaller leaves. Maybe you want to vary the height. I'm not sure how you want to do it. Or if you just want to focus on wavy, curvy lines that work together like I did, you can do that as well. If you're at home, you might be able to go outside and into your neighborhood or your yard and get some daffodils to draw from. I will leave you with a handout or a picture of a slide that you can pause and you can draw from that. I will see you next time, boys and girls. We are going to add color. If you have time to add color today, if you finish your pencil drawing, I would probably start with the yellow flowers. That way you will be less likely to smear your picture. See you next time.